Oh, this you crazy mother.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Trailer Talk Live, where we talk about the latest trailers, movie news, lots going on this episode, and big drop today. What's going on, Steph? How you doing?
What's up? I am very excited. I can't wait to talk about what we're going to talk about today. How about you, Leo? How are you?
I'm good. You know, just kind of getting back. I had a trip to Nashville, to Tennessee this past weekend, and now I'm back. Feels good to be back in the groove. And there's just like a part of our intro song where the guy just like uses a modulator wheel on the keyboard. Like you could tell he's just like wheeling that one note. It's just like so killer. Like that intro be killing it.
Yes, I'm always on a good mood thanks to that track. Immediately get in the zone.
Yeah, like it gets you in the spirits for sure. Our boy Christian's back. Welcome, man. Let's go indeed. Let's talk about this crazy decision today, Steph. Warner Bros. HBO Max in theaters at the same time for every single movie in 2021 that they're releasing. Big change, huge drop. I want to get your thoughts about it. What do you think?
The biggest news today. I think it's a very smart move because, like we've been saying for the past couple of months, things aren't changing soon, so I believe this is the best option for people that don't have theaters near them or don't have a way to get to a theater near them. It's a great option for them to just have fun and enjoy the amazing movies that we have coming up.
You know, and that's actually a pretty good answer because so many people are really up in arms about this. And I have to wonder, we got to wait and get to it because we got to see the returns. And I agree with you. I think it's a smart move because, of course, COVID-19 is happening. I don't think 2021 is going to be much more different. But, you know, I think this is a good way to keep people safe and for families to find an affordable way of entertainment still because we are going to have a movie theater experience. I worry about how they're going to make money on these movies, though. And how, like, the people involved with the movies are going to get paid. Like, I'm sure they've already been paid, but I'm just speaking of, like, future movies and things like that. I'm wondering how this is going to happen. It's only in the works for 2021 for right now, but, man, people are just, like, pitchforks and torches on Twitter, and I'm like, well, hold on. I don't think it's such a bad thing for the consumer, especially considering, like, the pandemic. You know, it's nice to stay safe, right?
Yeah, and you have a good point. The amount of money that they're going to get back is not going to compare to what they were going to get in theaters, because you have merchandise, concessions, and you have a lot of stuff going on there that you may not have at home. Plus, you're paying for your entire family. You could pay for it and watch it with 15 friends if you want. Don't do that. Because it's not safe to, gather. But,
Right.
but it's not the same as going to a movie theater and paying a ticket per person.
Yeah, and I wonder what the pay structure is going to look like. But before I kind of dive into that, we've got a great question from Zach Goller. What up, Zach? Favorite theme song ever? Steph, what's your favorite theme song? It's probably a Disney one, y'all.
Great question. I actually have a playlist on my phone with just movie themes because I adore movie themes. I'm gonna have to go with Time from Hans Zimmer from Inception. That's one of my favorite tracks ever. I just adore that.
That's an incredible choice. I mean, it's just arranged so well. Like, Hans Zimmer just hands down cannot get anything wrong. I mean, geez, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna split mine into a score and then more of like a poppy song. So score wise, definitely the Avengers theme. Like the Avengers suite is just I feel like it established the MCU. And it just gets things off to such a running, amazing start. Especially, my favorite moment that it plays is when Cap pops up in Infinity War and he catches the spear that Proxima Midnight throws at him. I was like, oh my God, Cap! That score-wise, I would go there. And then, like, I guess music-wise, I would go The Lion King. I love The Circle of Life. I think it's this fantastic, just wonderful built-up song with so many layers to it. You've got a choir, you've got all these great brass instruments and such a wonderful orchestra all coming together to kind of, in a weird way, create a circular motion and movement with the music. And maybe that's just because of the name of the song, but I don't know. It just creates that energy for me.
Great point. There's a lot of great music in movies. Iconic themes like Jurassic Park, and then you have Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually have like a long list of theme songs that I really adore. So it's a tricky question, but I think one that we all can relate to because we all love movies and we all love the music in them.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just so many movies. I love The Matrix. You could just, the list goes on. Pirates of the Caribbean, especially recognizable. It's like, I don't like all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but every time the song comes up in the movie, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling it. I'm here. I'm in it. Like, man.
I used to play fake sword fights with my cousins playing that song.
So were you Elizabeth Swann or were you another character?
I always wanted to be Jack Sparrow.
There you go.
I just thought he was so cool. I still think he's so cool.
Like, I love him, especially in those first two movies. Like, I love how he was just kind of this guy that bumped into Will Turner and Elizabeth, and then they go on this vast adventure for the Black Pearl. And, like, the first two movies to me are a chef's kiss. The third one's good, and then for me, it just kind of falls off after that. But things in those first two movies, amazing. Those swashbuckling fights, man, it's good. They were good for sure.
Yes, I was obsessed with the first one. Obsessed. I mean, watched it every Sunday, and I knew the dialogues, and I saw the behind the scenes. I was obsessed with that film.
I mean, I gotta follow up with the same thing. Like, my dad loved that movie when I was growing up, so we just used to watch it all the time. Swashbuckling, like
exciting. So, and then you have the fights, you have the ghosts or the pirates. Amazing.
And the treasure, and just like slicing the hand open, and him putting I gotta go rewatch that.
We probably
dropping it in. No. Oh man, such a great question though, Zach. Thanks for popping in, man, asking the question. Then he said, "I'd like to thank Godzilla and King Kong for giving me permission to watch them fight in my living room." That'll be one of the movies moving over to HBO Max. Like, I'm here for it, man. Steph, we got another question.
Hi,
Favorite
Kristen.
trailer of all time, and welcome, Kristen. Thanks for popping in.
These questions are always putting me on the spot because I'm like, which one is it? Favorite trailer. I'm gonna have to go
I'm trying
with
to think too.
one that I was obsessed with, and I watched all the reactions on YouTube, and that was for The Force Awakens.
Oh
That
no!
first trailer. Yes, I was obsessed with it, and I kept searching for new reactions, and I commented on every reaction. I just love the music and the way it just started building up to something bigger. I was really, really love that one.
I'm gonna scoot a little bit closer because you took mine. I love the Force Awakens trailer. Like, something about Star Wars coming back 10 years later, you know, because me and you were born in an era where the prequels were coming. So we weren't born in between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy where it was like, oh, there's this space. We were born right when the prequels came out, and then, of course, we got episode 3. Then it was just a dry spell for a little while, and it was like, well, we're not getting any more movies, maybe. Then when the Force Awakens trailer came out, it was just like, oh my god, like, who is this girl, and who is this?
Yeah.
There's a black dude holding a lightsaber, like, yeah, a Chewie and Han are back, like, it was just so good, like, and I think. I almost think that 10-year age gap kind of lent to it a little bit because they didn't really dive into detail in that first trailer. It was just kind of like, oh, here's this random new girl. Here's Chewie and Han. Here's some more new characters and cool shots. There's this cool guy with a Darth Vader-ish helmet. Like, it just built so much adrenaline that I think it was just a fantastic trailer. And of course, mixing the traditional Star Wars theme in there, fantastic. It was a great trailer.
If you add those 10 years of not knowing anything about that world, well, yes, in a different way, but I think it really worked. And I remember watching it in the movie theater. I was so excited.
Oh my god, I watched The Force Awakens 5 times in movie theaters. Like,
I went 6 or 7.
you already know. Like,
And funny story, I was going for my 8th, but I was the only ticket sold, so they wouldn't show it. And I ended up watching the Revenant, with Leo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah, when he finally got an Oscar. It's like, come on, man.
I was originally going for Star Wars, but they wouldn't show it because I was the only ticket. Probably it was further when it came out, like when they were gonna take it off.
Yeah, like, win, and it was just such a fun experience to experience that Star Wars again. Did you happen to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters?
Yes. And
So see, you already know.
Yeah, my sisters fell asleep. I know. I turned around and they were sleeping, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, me and my best buddy Kyle, who's actually one of my close friends today, we went and saw it, and oh my god, we were like in tears. We're like, no, Anakin, even though we knew he had to become Darth Vader, but it was like, no, like, we built up so many relationships. Obi-Wan, Padme, like, how could you do this? Like, it was a travesty to watch the first time because you get so attached to Anakin Skywalker. Regardless of what we think about the first 2 movies, I don't think they're great, but we still get attached to Anakin as a character. You get to that third one, you're like, no, dude, no.
Yes, and just like you said, you know what's gonna happen, but you're still heartbroken about it.
Literally. Oh man, movies are so fun. Thoughts on the rumors of Margot Robbie spearheading the next one? What do you think, Steph?
I am excited. I still don't know what the storyline may be, but I'm excited for them to just expand on that universe because it's one that I really enjoy. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, I like Margot Robbie as an actress. I think she was a great Harley Quinn. I thought she was a great Tanya Harding. She was even great in her role in Wolf of Wall Street. So I like Margot Robbie. Throw her in. Hey, I'm down. Look, the movies have kind of fizzled out, so gotta freshen up somehow.
Yeah. And she has a big fan base due to all the roles that she's played. So I think that's going to help the franchise as well.
Oh, for sure. Easy. Kristen! Hey. Y'all go check out her review on Selena. I just checked it out today. Kind of's got me a little cautious, but I'm still excited to watch it. So thanks for dropping your review, and definitely go check out her channel and subscribe if you haven't already, for sure.
Yes, she's awesome.
Yeah. Kristen's reviews are great. I typically end up catching most of them, so keep on going, Kristen. I've been seeing you grow, and it's been great to see you continue to come out with great content and do these interviews. Like, you've been killing it, so great job. Dune must be seen in theaters, in my opinion. That is the main WB movie I must see in theaters if they're around by October. 1000% agree, man. I'm not watching Dune on HBO Max. If I can help it.
But it's still great that you get the option, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of people like myself that they don't feel safe going out there, theaters right now or in a year. So I think that's a great option for people that are just staying home.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about this. I know a lot of people are up in arms about it, but I like that there is an option, because to me it almost feels like vinyl versus Spotify. You've got your diehard movie theater going fans that are still going to hit the movie theaters, and then you've got people who, may not necessarily feel it's safe or may want to flex the option of watching it at home. It's nice to have the option, I think, just to give us a couple of avenues to go down when we want to watch a movie.
And it's nice that they're releasing them, because they're not dragging them another 2 or 3 years.
It's not like, okay, guys, Wonder Woman 84 is coming out in 2025. Like, come on, man. Do you have any ideas of how you think they're going to recoup? Because I'm wondering what they can do in terms of getting some of those costs back. And I had a couple ideas. I was thinking there would possibly be a tier plan, that it would come down to maybe an individual rental price, like a video on demand, or they would release exclusive stuff along with those movies. So it's like, oh, you get this exclusive figure if you subscribe to HBO Max this month, or if you turn into tier 2, hey, you get access to this cool Wonder Woman collectible that you can only get on HBO Max. Like, I kind of wonder how they're going to flex that HBO Max option and still be able to get revenue.
They're going to have to find a way, and I'm still preoccupied by the international fans like myself, because we don't have HBO Max, so I don't know what that means for us. I don't think we're getting it here till 2022.
Oh, so, no!
Yeah. I'm guessing this is going to go like Disney Plus, that we're going to get it a year after. But it would suck just to miss all the new releases just because of that. Yeah,
that's and I was wondering if they will put it on HBO Go, because that's in other countries, or Crave, or put it on all of their HBO content, but they haven't said anything. And then they replied to the trailer that they dropped, and they were like, oh, it's going to be in the US only. But it's like, what about the international market? Come on, guys.
And their international market is bigger than the US market, because, US, it's just one, and then you have the rest of the world.
It's like, guess where most of the box office returns come from? International sales.
International, yeah.
Oh my God. Mike Thomas, my boy, novice cinephile. You were the chosen one, Anakin.
Crying.
Yo, I don't know. I haven't seen episode 3 in a while. That scene still kind of tears me up a little bit.
Have you seen the meme?
Which one? There's quite a few.
Of that specific scene where it says, I hate you. Can you give this lightsaber to my son?
I hate
Something like that,
you. Will you give this to my son, please?
yeah. Or they added a new one with Baby Yoda, or should I say Grogu? There's another meme where it says that Anakin is killing all the young Jedi's, but he spares him because he was nice to him.
And you know what? We gotta get an explanation there. Like, what the heck happened? Like, he cleaned up shop. He said, like, look, you guys, we're done. He took out all those young Jedi. So
Spoiler
how did
alert.
Grogu?
Spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. I'm heavy spoiling y'all. I apologize. Heavy spoilers
Sorry,
right now. My bad. I hope you guys have seen The Mandalorian, the latest episode. If not, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Woo! Jamar Shadow, welcome in, man. Thanks for coming through.
What's up?
Oh, Steph, are you excited for Soul? Looks like Christian started his marathon.
Yes, I'm so excited, especially because I've seen tweets about it, people that have already seen it. I know you have already seen it, so I'm excited to watch it.
I'll say this, guys. That was one of my favorite films of the year. I really liked Soul. I just thought that just what the movie stands for just really got to me at the end. Like, it just really makes you feel good. But I don't want to dive too deep. I don't want to spoil, but I will say go see that movie. Go see it once it comes out.
Yeah.
In the Heights is a sleeper pick to be the best WB release next year. Is that the one that Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing? I'm going to have to look that up. In the Heights. I think that's that musical that Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yep, that's the one. Right? Am I? Yeah. Yep. It's adapted by... Okay, so he did the stage musical. Okay, gotcha. I was like, what? But it looks like it's directed by John M. Chu, which, Crazy Rich Asians, love that movie. So lots of good faith behind this one with him on board. Anthony Ramos is in it. Like, I'm not entirely. Oh, he was in Hamilton. Okay. Sorry, Steph. I'm over here looking it up. But In the Heights looks like it could be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, Steph, are you a big musical? Do you like musicals?
I like musicals. I enjoy them. One of my favorite ones, Grease, of course. But then I also love, I know it's a controversial film because it doesn't stand for the real person that was Hugh Jackman's character, but I love The Greatest Showman. I adore that soundtrack. I'm in love with it, and I don't skip tracks, and it's weird for me to not skip a track, on soundtracks. So yeah, I love that. The music, it just makes me feel good.
Oh man, you're gonna hate me. I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it.
I was about to say you don't like it.
Still haven't seen it.
You have to. Well, for me, it was one of my favorite experiences in the movie theater because of the opening scene. I remember watching it on the big screen. I was in awe. It felt like I was there. So to me, I really adore the musical. Like the way it was shot, the songs, the acting. It's one of my favorite movies.
Wow. Okay, I gotta step on it then. I gotta get on that. I'm just not a big... I say this, I'm not a big musical guy, but I'm like, I love Disney movies, and clearly those are basically musicals as well.
Yeah.
And I really liked... Man, Hamilton was... Sorry, I had to stop that song. Oh man, Hamilton was good. That might be one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it, but
good.
I haven't checked it out yet.
See, okay, you're gonna get on me for Greatest Showman.
I'll watch Hamilton, and then you go watch The Greatest Showman.
Perfect deal. What's going on, Tyler? Good to see you, bro. If I see anyone watching Godzilla vs. Kong for the first time on their phone, I'm judging. I'm gonna be watching it on HBO Max. What? Well, if theaters are safer by then, I'm definitely gonna try theaters, but I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see when the time comes. I'm not sure.
How is it where you are? But here we're back to red. So the highest level of, contagion, all that stuff. So I don't think we are going to have theaters open soon.
Yeah, we're at the same level in Colorado. So some theaters have shut down. I know like a lot of the like smaller local theaters have bogged back down, so it's not looking good. AMC is so stubborn though, I'm not sure they'll close. Ooh, another good question. Do you think Disney follows suit with putting their big films on Disney Plus and in theaters as an option? Black Widow, absolutely. Absolutely.
They have to, right?
I think we discussed this a couple weeks ago, but I feel like Warner Bros. And Disney have been doing this constant like middle finger back and forth to each other. So I think Disney was like, well, hey, guess what? We're releasing Mulan and we're releasing Soul for free. And then HBO Max was like, oh, you thought you had something? Everything. Well, guess what? We're releasing Wonder Woman. Oh, and by the way, we're releasing everything else. And now I think Disney's going to have to answer with at least Black Widow. I'm not going the whole slate. I'm going Black Widow, though, at least. What do you think, Steph?
Yes. I think they're going to venture into that route because of the news today. Warner Brothers was the first big company to go on that direction. So I think once they see that everybody's excited about it and that's going to work out, maybe they're going to go the same way.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have to kind of wait and see like the first couple that come out for everyone. But I almost feel like Disney's going to jump the gun ASAP. And then everybody else like Sony, Paramount, Universal, they're going to kind of like wait it out and see, okay, how is this going to go? And if it goes well, we're going to do the same.
Yeah, it's the only way. Like, there's no other option.
Oh, followed by another question. Most anticipated Disney release in 2021. What was that?
refresh my memory. Show-wise, I'm excited for WandaVision, which is going to premiere in January. Just a month away.
Yes.
Movie-wise, I'd say Black Widow. I'm excited to see her film and just get to know more about her character and her world.
It's like about time, right? Because I feel like we could have had this right at the Iron Man 2. I was like, who is that badass?
Yeah. And I saw that, I forgot her name. Florence Pugh?
Yeah, Florence Pugh.
Yeah, that she's going to be in the Hawkeye TV series. So it's all weaving in together, and I'm excited.
Yeah, crazy revelation that Haley Steinfeld is going to be in the series as well. Like, holy shit. Figured that out yesterday, so
did you see
big
the
reveal.
Leaked scene at the subway?
Yep. Like coming down the subway with that dog.
Yeah.
Like, aw. I'm not entirely sure who the dog is, admittedly, but I'm excited. Yeah, right. I'm excited regardless, and I like seeing her come down everybody come down the stairs and getting a little bit like something. Kate Bishop, give us a tease. We got something.
Yes, I'm just excited for everything that's coming up. Like, I love movies, and just watching new things gets me excited.
I hear it. I mean, for me, most anticipated animation wise, that Raya and the Last Dragon for sure.
Yes. That
looks so good. And you could tell it's like inspired by Legend of Korra and just Asian culture. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then I guess if we want to go the MCU route, like I'm very excited for Shang-Chi. And also pretty excited to see what they do with the Eternals. Black Widow's gonna be
Which-
cool.
Yeah, we haven't gotten anything from Eternals. Just a picture.
A set photo, like a
Yeah.
little picture that was like, here's a promotional box art. And I'm like, oh, come on, y'all. Give us something else.
Yeah.
At least like a picture, something.
The Little Mermaid as well. I'm excited. I
Is
know
that
if it's
2021?
I believe it's further, like 2022 maybe? Because they're still
That'll be
filming
tight.
in January, I think. So I'm excited for that.
Holly Bailey, we got us a black Ariel, y'all. I'm down. I'm here for it.
Yes, and I'm excited for the underwater stuff.
Yeah, because, I mean, after seeing Aquaman, I'm just definitely excited to see what Disney decides to do underwater.
So cool.
I think I got that Dune comment. The one I didn't see they're releasing on HBO Max was the new Elvis movie scheduled for November of 2021, so I have no idea. I had no idea that even existed, to be honest, until today. I was like, Elvis? I didn't even know they had a movie coming up, so that was news in itself to me. But, yeah. He is Grogu. Baby Yoda is incorrect. I mean, I feel like Disney has been trying to get us off the Baby Yoda name train for a while because they're like, oh no, he's the child. Oh no, now he's Grogu. Like, can we just call him Baby Yoda?
I'm still calling him that, so
it's gonna be hard to get out of that because I mean that's what we came up with in season 1 when they were just like, oh, this unnamed Yoda guy. How could you not call him Baby Yoda? Ooh, a cool little fact here. Jamie Foxx was double Oscar nominee in 2004. Lead actor for Ray, supporting actor for Collateral. Man, Ray is a fantastic movie. Everybody's echoing your sentiment, Steph. Everybody likes musicals.
yay.
Now, Cinephile, Zach, Leo, watch The Greatest Showman.
Yes. Speaking about Oscars, I was just doing some research for a project for my school, and there's a rumor or a legend that the Oscar statue was modeled after a Mexican actor / model.
Really? See, I have no idea who it was modeled after, so that's cool.
Yes, I was like, ooh, that's awesome.
Nice little factoid. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh no, Andy's like, oh god, I hope I'm not like, no, we're just chatting it up, man, which I guess we've talked a lot about the HBO Max stuff, but I do just really quick want to show you and everybody else a list of the movies that is coming up so we could all just get a good idea of what to expect. So you got Mortal Kombat, The Little Things, Tom and Jerry, The Many Saints of Newark, Reminiscence, Godzilla vs. Kong, The Conjuring, the next Conjuring movie, In the Heights, which everybody is hyped up about, Space Jam, The Suicide Squad, Dune, Elvis, King Richard, and Matrix 4. Then a couple others, Judas and the Black Messiah, which is a TBA, and Malignant, and Those Who Wish Me Dead. Are there any movies on this list that you feel would be not ideal for HBO Max?
Ooh, I'm thinking The Suicide Squad.
I know that one. I'm like,
love to see that on the big screen.
Like, can we just delay that one? Can we just push that one back? I want to see that in theaters.
Especially after watching the behind the scenes or that special reel. That was
amazing. And James Gunn is like, there's going to be explosions. We're killing a bunch of people. I'm like, dude, I want to see that.
We have a ton of extras and huge sets. So that needs to be seen in a movie theater.
A ton of characters and a lot of people are going to die. I mean, I'm thinking within the first 20 minutes, somebody's blowing up.
Probably half of them. There's too many.
Right. It's like, okay, there's 20 of us. Oh, boom. Just kidding. There's 10 now. Oh, man. Guys, I just don't know about the musical train. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Steph can convince me. Saw Hamilton twice when it came to San Francisco. I think that's what you mean, SF? Best show I've ever seen. I mean, Hamilton on Disney Plus was amazing. I imagine the the actual like play and stage production is phenomenal. Saw it in Milwaukee, greatest show I've ever seen. Yeah, Hamilton's just so good. Can't wait to be lazy in my bed watching every 2021 release on HBO Max. It's nice to hear some of y'all aren't like incredibly raging about it, because come on, is it? I raise this question to you, Steph, and to everybody else in the chat. I understand that the theater experience is something that just cannot be emulated, and I love movie theaters. But do you guys feel like it is that big of a deal if you watch it on HBO Max? Like, is it an absolute deal breaker for most of these movies for you guys? My directions. Most of these movies, is it like a deal breaker if you have to watch them on HBO Max?
My answer to that is, of course, like you said, it won't compare to watching it on the big screen with people and that experience. But at the same time, people are never going to be happy, never going to be pleased. If you don't do that, then they're going to be crying because they don't have the release. So, they're never going to be happy. So I'd say it's great that they have both options to choose and that you get to experience it either way.
Yeah, you can't please everybody. But the best thing about this scenario is there's options.
Yeah.
Theaters, they're not saying we're not releasing in theaters at all. Theaters are still an option. So, still got the choice. The AMC CEO was not happy about it. He was pretty mad earlier. So, we'll let him be mad. And we'll move on to our next topic of The Mandalorian, Steph. Spoiler warning, guys. Big spoiler warning. If you did not see that last episode, apologies. There's some spoilers coming. But Steph, I wanna know what you thought about Ahsoka. The moment you saw her in the first like couple frames of the episode with those dual lightsabers. I gotta get your thoughts. Like, what did you think of the episode, and what did you think of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka?
Yes. So we have two very different points of views, because you know the character and you've seen the character in the show, the other show, or shows, I should say, but I haven't. So I was not familiar with her character at all. I did see some cartoons, cartoon shots of her, and I knew that she was rumored to be playing her, and they looked just the same. I was shocked to see that they opened the episode with her. I was expecting them to do it a little later. I was like, what? It's happening? And it was so cool the way they did it, because it kept building up your expectation for her whole outfit and the way she looked. And then they slowly revealed that, and I thought that reveal was amazing. Even though I was not familiar with the character, I was still excited to see something like this on screen.
Oh man, epic. I mean, echoing everything you said, it was fantastic and a surprise almost to get her at the beginning of the episode, because we know how Mando is. They usually do the Boba Fett thing and they like wait to the end of the episode, and it's like, all right, here's like a piece of that character. You'll see him a little bit later. They did not hold back. I mean, even Bo-Katan in episode 3, she didn't come in till about, 10, 15 minutes in the episode. Ahsoka, it's like a couple of sentences are said, and then all of a sudden the lightsaber activates, and it's like what? Yeah. Like, I was just so blown away. And Dave Filoni, who does the Clone Wars, wrote and directed this episode, and I thought it was fantastic to bring in the creator of the Clone Wars, who created Ahsoka, in to do this and to actually take his character and write his character out in this show. And you could feel that influence, because he knows Ahsoka and the way she was fighting, swinging her lightsaber, how she had progressed from the beginning of Clone Wars to now. It all made sense, and it was all just so incredibly executed that you could tell it's Filoni doing this episode. Like, this is Filoni's baby, and I feel like this episode was literally cradled by Filoni himself before debuting, because it's just written so freaking well. Like, so well.
I would like to add the music and the sound design, that lightsaber sound and everything. It was pretty different from what we've seen before in the show. Like, it felt very different, like we're somewhere else. within Star Wars. So that's what was special about it.
Yeah, because we kind of have been in this mode of, oh, in The Mandalorian, the Jedi are these mystical, kind of magical people that use a magic or so. Like, people in The Mandalorian don't really know Jedi. And for Mando to finally, like, stumble upon a Jedi and for kind of the table to, like, turn a little bit and to bring the Jedi lore and the Force and things like that back into Mando, oddly enough, didn't feel jarring, but it was definitely different. And I think my favorite shot in that episode was Ahsoka behind those two guys when she pulled her dual lightsabers out and they just shined in front of her face. I was like, man, this is chills.
It was very,
Chills.
well done. Plus,
Incredibly executed.
You get new information about spoilers, Grogu, and and another character mentioned that I'm not familiar with, but I knew everybody was excited about. So we'll see if he shows up further in the season.
Thrawn! We're all so excited. Oh my god, Thrawn is in the series. I'm so excited to get him back into the Star Wars lore, and possibly Ezra Bridger. These are characters from Rebels, actually, which is an animated series that happens after Clone Wars, and it takes place right before episode 4. So it's like the couple years before that, and then Mando is, of course, after episode 6, before episode 7, about 5 or 10 years. Oh my goodness, I did not see that there were this many comments waiting over here. Movie Collector, Matrix 4 released December 21st. Mortal Kombat, I'm sorry, A-Town. Welcome everybody, by the way. Movie Collector, A-Town, welcome in. I'm doing horrible on these comments here. But Mortal Kombat, I don't have faith. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys, I don't have any faith in that movie. But spinning back to Mando, would you call this the best episode of The Mandalorian so far?
I am not sure. I don't know. To me, the one that really, I remember a lot is the season 1 finale. That was, I was on the edge. I was like, what's going on? What's going to happen? Where are we going? So it's not like I didn't feel that way here, but since maybe I'm not so into, the character and I don't know much about her, maybe my excitement wasn't as great as everybody else's. But you that you know the story and that you follow this character for so many years, maybe this is what hypes you up so much for this.
Yeah, and I was wondering too, I was like, I'm glad I'm getting your perspective on it, because for me, it's easily the best one. Like, getting to see Ahsoka Tano again was like reuniting with an old friend. I mean, Clone Wars, when did Clone Wars come out? 2007 or something? Like, it's been a while.
12 years, right? Something like that?
Yeah, let me just real quick look it up. It came out in, okay, so the TV series came out in 2008. The movie came out in 2007. I mean, like, I've been following this character for 13 years, and just seeing her, like, evolve and grow up, I'm like, oh my god. And she's Anakin's Padawan, former Padawan. So I'm like, and he used to call her Snips, so I'm like, oh my god, Snips is all grown up. Like, it's just kind of like almost seeing like a little cousin or something like grow up. It's a weird feeling, but at the same time, a satisfying one to see a character like make this complete arc and transition into live action very well. Rosario Dawson looks very much like the character in an older age, so I just think it was a good transition, just like Bo-Katan in episode 3.
Yeah.
Great transition from animated to live action, and there are other characters that they could possibly do this with. I'm excited for more.
Yes, and of course I'm going to watch Clone Wars and Rebels. I now have Disney Plus, so I can do that, and I want to. But yeah, I'm excited just to get to know more characters and follow along the world that I really love.
Let me know if you want a guide because I found an episode guide for real that like chops out some of the fat because Clone Wars is a lengthy show. I want to say there's 10 to 15 or 20 episodes a season with 7 seasons. Like, and this guide kind of chops it down to where I think there's only like 6 to 10. It's like, okay, here's the ideal episodes, and then here are the episodes that are you don't have to watch, but if you want to, you can. And then here are the absolutely unnecessary, oh, it's Jar Jar Binks, guys. Like those kind of episodes that you just don't have to watch at all.
Yeah. I'm the kind of girl that likes to watch everything. Like
I knew it.
Yeah, it's like coloring a book. If I start one, I need to finish it. Like I can't skip things. So I'm probably gonna watch every episode.
Okay, I've warned you. You're gonna run into a couple episodes. You're gonna be like, dang, I don't know. Oh man. Good comment here from A-Town Reviews. I love the theater experience, but I love not being sick more, so I don't mind watching them on HBO Max. I mean, fair point.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw Avengers for the first time on my desktop, bootleg, and it was still an amazing experience. I mean, yeah, that shot where they're circling around in New York, fantastic. I mean, on a big screen, on a small screen, it's wonderful. Dearly want to watch them in theaters, but we're not there yet. I'll settle for HBO Max with the hope that we'll return to theaters in 2022. Uh-oh. Please don't put Jar Jar in the Mandalorian, please.
Jar Jar.
I
like him.
I knew Steph was gonna say that.
He's quirky and I know, maybe a little, how do you say it? Annoying?
Yeah, unlikable.
Probably. But, well, for the part of that he's in, I thought it was all right. It's Star Wars. You get a lot of characters and a lot of personalities, so I think it definitely stands out because people talk about him even though they don't like him. But I thought he was fun.
I kind of think people beat up on Jar Jar a little bit more than necessary. Like, I'm like, okay, I know he's not the ideal character to be in these movies. And especially a Phantom Menace, which I think is the worst Star Wars movie. But I don't necessarily think he's like, oh my God, I just like, I don't know. I don't like barf at his existence. I would not like to see him in any more of the media. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it was like such a
horror-worthy
moment.
Yeah.
Ooh, Michael Fassbender as Thrawn. Hey, bring him in anything and I'm there.
I saw people wanting Benedict Cumberbatch, I think.
That would be kind of cool. I saw somebody wanted John Hamm. I think Fassbender fits into the role really well. I just don't know what his schedule looks like, but I think just like he knows how to really channel like this villainous, very intimidating energy that is hard for a lot of actors to do. Him and it's kind of a disappointment a little, and not necessarily a disappointment, but it's like, dang, Giancarlo Esposito is being used. He would have been a cool Thrawn, I thought. I want to ask you this question. Do you think Moff Gideon is working for someone? Or do you think he's like the head honcho in charge?
No, I think he's working for somebody.
Totally,
yeah.
Totally.
I mean, has to be.
We saw that episode where Carl Weathers and Gina Carano's characters were in, and when he was at the end there making those Dark Troopers, I'm like, he's making this for something. Like, he is working for somebody, clearly.
They always are, right?
Right.
I expect them not to be, but then there's somebody else at the top.
You're right, because let's think about it. Star Wars does this every time. Vader, Maul, Count Dooku, Anakin. Who else? I mean, just pretty much every Sith you meet is like not the guy. Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Who was for Snoke. And I'm sorry, Steph. I'm sure you like The Rise of Skywalker, but it was a little bit of a no from me.
I liked it and there's some things that I would have liked to go differently, and I think that would have been much better. But as a whole experience, for me as a Star Wars fan, I was excited just to see how this ended, because we're getting all these spin-offs which go in between movies, but we're
Yeah.
still inside the Star Wars world. So I was just excited to see how this Skywalker saga ended.
I agree. Like, I was definitely looking forward to just the end of the Skywalker saga. You know what I think made it worse for me? I read the Duel of the Fates script, Colin Trevorrow's original
Yeah.
script that he was going to write for 9, and I loved it so much more. I like that he had Kylo Ren stay evil. Like, he had a sequence where, like, Rey and the Force Ghosts of Yoda, Anakin, and Obi-Wan were all trying to, like, pull him over to the light, like, come back, Ben, come back, and he, like, rejected them. And I was like, dude, I would have loved to see something like that, because in my opinion, the whole Kylo storyline went exactly like what happened with Anakin. It was the exact same character, except that he ended up coming back to the light much quicker, but it happened
Yeah.
before he died, just like Darth Vader. So I was kind of just like, oh, it's like the same thing again. Like, it would have been cool if we expected
Yeah.
him to come back, and maybe he even tricked Rey into say, like, coming back, and then he was like, no, I'm always gonna be Kylo Ren. Like, this is me. Anakin couldn't accomplish this, but I can. Like, I just kind of felt like that would have been a little bit more interesting for his character. But I digress. We got what we got. And look, it wasn't a dumpster fire by any means, but could have been some better stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that we're getting a director's perspective and a certain scriptwriter perspective. So it really depended on who was taking on the reins for us to get the story. So it happened to be JJ, and he wanted this to go this way. So I think that's, like you said, the thing that we got. But we could still wonder and imagine different endings that will satisfy each of our, needs.
I mean, seriously, because I watched The Rise of Skywalker and I was like, damn, this is the Last Jedi cleanup crew. I mean, The Last Jedi, Rey, you're a nobody. The Rise of Skywalker, actually, you're a Palpatine.
Yeah. And she even talked about it in an interview that they were always shifting. Oh, yes, she's going to be no one, and she is no one, which was going to be, in my opinion, better. Because it means that anybody could be the hero of a story. Like, it doesn't have to be a family thing, But, yeah, I think that was the issue, that we had different minds trying to go one way, but then you got somebody else on the next one, and then somebody else on the other one. So you're going to get scrambled. There's no way you can just have a clear path of where you want to go.
You brought up the absolute perfect point of why I loved The Last Jedi, and that's because it established this theme that anyone in the galaxy could be a powerful Force user. You don't have to be born of the Force like Anakin. You don't have to be a Kenobi. You don't have to be a Palpatine. You don't got to be from this lineage. No, you can be Broom Boy, and you can be like just blessed with the power of the Force so much. And I thought that was such a cool theme to add into to add back into Star Wars, because we had it in A New Hope. Luke was a farmer. I mean, he just this guy in the middle, and of course that comes from his lineage. But I mean, starting with The New Hope, he was just a random dude, and he was blessed with the powers of the Force. So it kind of circled things back around, in my opinion. And then also making Rey's character important to the story without having to actually connect her, I thought was just a strong beat in the story. It's like she doesn't have to be a Palpatine or a Kenobi which I thought she was a Kenobi, but she doesn't have to be a Kenobi or anything.
Yeah, because we meet her just like Luke. She's on a desert planet, and she doesn't have things to eat, and she doesn't have any money. She's just there surviving. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense for them to try to do it all part of the family, but at the same time, that idea of that anyone could be the hero was left there. Because they continued with the Skywalker thing, or the Palpatine thing.
And see, when they called it the Skywalker Saga and they called it The Rise of Skywalker, I definitely thought it was Kylo Ren. Like, I almost thought it was going to be like, oh, maybe Ben Solo does come back and then maybe Rey even dies. Like, that would have been something that would have been like, what? Like, they built her up to be the one and it's actually Ben Solo or something like that. But the Rise of Skywalker was literally Rey calling herself a Skywalker at the end of the movie. So it was just kind of like, and that to me was almost, I would have even liked if she said, I don't have a last name. I'm just Rey.
Rey. Just Rey, yeah.
Right. Like if the movie had ended and they're like, Rey who? And she's like, I'm just Rey. And that was, I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, my girl independent. Forget this. Then they shoehorn Palpatine back in.
Still, for me, I think one of my most favorite scene from the film is that redemption scene of Ben with Han. That little moment they have. Ooh, barely any words, but just the acting. Like, I remember that scene watching it and being like, wow.
The anguish, the loss, the realization. Just, I mean, you know, acting is expression, and being able to make wonderful facial expressions is part of that. And just the way, like, they were looking at each other and connecting with one another, it was, like, so beautiful. And it was just that reversal.
Long, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was a couple minutes. Yeah. And just that kind of role reversal of, okay, in The Force Awakens, he, like, tricked him and kills him to become Kylo Ren. And then here he is back with his father still after death, becoming Ben again through his father. That was a cool... I don't dislike the Ben stuff. I'll just say that. I did obviously prefer him to stay Kylo Ren. I didn't dislike the Ben stuff though, but it did go the same. It went down the same way with what happened with Anakin, sadly.
Yeah. I was just talking to my sister the other day about it, how it's the same story, and they died, and they redeemed themselves before dying, and then that was it.
Steph. They even have the same villain, like the Emperor, which, as a diehard Star Wars fan, I was like, awesome, the Emperor. But then part of me was like, but I kind of wanted Kylo to be the guy.
Yeah, and to me, I thought Palpatine was going to have a bigger role. I guess it makes sense because he was sort of like back, but not completely back.
Chained up to this pole like this so the whole time.
Though. I really like the way it looks. When he was just sort of like moving around on the screen. I mean, it was cool to see the actor come back, reprising his role.
I agree. I mean, Ian McDiarmid is amazing, and I loved him in all of the movies. But I just couldn't help but feel like it was like shoehorned in, like I just couldn't help but feel like there were meetings going down, like, okay, this went wrong in The Last Jedi, we have to fix it in The Rise of Skywalker. This was because I feel like it was like, okay, everybody was mad that Snoke was dead. Okay, how do we kind of bring back Snoke without bringing back Snoke? Okay, we bring back the Emperor, make everybody happy by bringing him back. How do we the Finn and Poe stuff? I think I would have liked it if they had become a couple, or if Finn had confessed his feelings to Rey, because it seemed like that's what they were building up to.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of thought they were going the Finn x Poe route, and I was like, awesome, you'll finally have two main characters in a Disney franchise that are, you know, not straight characters. So I thought that would have been a cool way to explore that. Didn't happen. The Lando stuff was cool though.
Yeah, and their characters as well. I think, well, in the main trilogy, in the original, we have Han, we have Leia, we have Luke, and they each have their own personality, and they carry themselves so well in the three movies because they're written well. I think on this newer one, the three main characters weren't as well written as the other ones. They're not
I agree.
As iconic, I would say.
Yeah, we remember all their names, remember their actions, but they're still forgettable in a sense.
Yeah.
you're right. They're not really written as strongly as I would even argue as the trio in the prequel trilogy. I mean,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme. Because you've got a lot of writing behind those characters, and I feel this way. I feel that The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi kind of connected together decently, and I feel The Last Jedi was a great springboard into something that could have been like massive. And I didn't get that from The Rise of Skywalker, and I was like, dang, man, like I just felt like there was so much more potential for those characters that just didn't really get explored. And I feel like they spend a lot of time in the new trilogy traveling the galaxy, which is not a problem.
Yeah.
But slow things down a little bit to like foster and build some of those relationships, you know. I love you. I know. That's something that I feel like didn't happen in the new trilogy.
Yeah. And like you said, it felt rushed in a lot of parts. Like I didn't buy their relationship as much as Han, Leia, and Luke because of the time that they spent together. It was barely any time together.
Oh man, well, okay, the whole Ben Ray stuff, Steph, I thought they were like brotherly, sisterly. Like I thought that was like I was like, is this a Solo Twins thing? Are they cousins? Is she a Skywalker? Them being together to me was really weird. Really weird.
You weren't expecting it?
Mm-mm. And I know that in The Last Jedi, they like reach out towards each other at the campfire.
Yeah.
I understand that there was like cues and stuff. But I guess for me, I was expecting like a Solo Twins thing or like a solo sibling or something. I was just like, maybe they're connected through either her being a Skywalker, him a Solo, or some other way. But I guess it was because they were romantically intertwined.
To me, the biggest surprise was Ben's death. Like, I thought they were just gonna go live happily ever after or something. And then he died, and I was like, what? What?
Excuse my language, but that motherfucker just laid down and like died. I was like, what?
After
Hold
smiling,
on.
it was like,
You kissed the girl, then you disappeared. Like, what? that to me, I was like, wait, huh? And I guess, didn't he get like zapped by the Emperor like really bad? But I'm like,
yeah.
okay, so did Luke. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I think the best part of the movie was all of the Jedi coming back. But I just didn't feel like Rey earned that. Like, I know that I'm not on the bandwagon of, oh, she got these random powers, because so did Luke. But at the same time, I'm like, it's weird that it's Rey. And I like Rey as a character, and I really did like her, but I almost wanted it to be her and Ben, because then you just kind of add like another Jedi in, and he has this lineage and things like that. It was kind of weird to find out, okay, she's a Sidious, all in the same movie. Okay, she's a Palpatine. She might think she's kind of evil. Oh my God, the revelation kind of shook her up. And then she's a master Jedi at the end. Like, I don't know. It just kind of was, it almost felt like it could be two different movies even. I don't know. I'm totally going off.
I know it all goes back to, different opinions between scriptwriters and directors and where they wanted all this to go. Good thing we have the Mandalorian now, and
Right.
within the same universe.
For real. Oh, Poe Finn, I still shipped him. Yeah, I mean, even Oscar Isaac and John Boyega were like, we would love for that to happen, and expressed, their hope for that to happen, and it just didn't happen. Disney didn't want to pull that trigger, I guess. Way to lead her on, Ben. I mean, for real, yeah. Just I'm gonna kiss the girl and then lay down and die. Like literally, the homie just flipped over and said,
Good night.
"Rip, I'm done." Woo, Steph, this is one of our longer episodes.
I know, it was fun.
Yeah, I agree. Y'all, another great episode. Thank you all for coming out and commenting. We're a little late this time, and your boy's feeling it, but man, that Star Wars discussion, Steph, that was fun.
It went from the Mandalorian to the Skywalker saga.
I gotta ask you one more question. What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Episode 4. Episode 4. I'd have to go with the original one. Just because it's an introduction to this world, and you have these 3 amazing characters that really work together, that make you feel part of the adventure, and you are new to this world, and you're in awe of everything you're seeing, and you are drawn to the Star Wars universe. So that's why.
Awesome.
Yours?
Yeah, A New Hope, definitely really good. Empire. My favorite is Empire Strikes Back. For the big Vader revelation. At this point, we've gotten a little bit of Luke, Han, and Leia. We're established with the characters, and just to see the good guys lose was something new to me at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it was like kind of like this big change in dynamic from the usual movies, Indiana Jones and other movies where the protagonist always wins. You've got this movie sandwiched in the middle where it's like, no, actually the villains won this time. and just the whole, like, there's so many memorable and quotable lines. Han and Leia confessing love for one another. Darth Vader saying, of course, saying, Luke, I'm your father. And reading up all the stuff behind that. And it's crazy that the only person that knew that was Mark Hamill. And of course, James Earl Jones.
Yes, I've seen him talk about it. And the way they switched things up, because everybody thought it was something else, and then when they showed it, it was.
I'm sorry, I don't think Mark even knew. I think they gave it to James Earl Jones in like paper. I think.
Yeah, I think they changed in post. Yeah, so I think when they filmed it, he was saying no to something else, and then they put the "I'm your father."
Which, what a fucking drop, right? I mean, to be like, nobody knows, and then it's like, what? Vader is Luke's father? And he was supposed to be like the villain of this series? Like, he was supposed to be the guy that killed Luke's father, and this guy is like the father of the main character. Like, oh shit. Uh-oh. I think Steph froze, y'all. Oh no, Steph. Oh no, I think I lost her. Revenge of the Sith, because of the memes, man, it is the best fight scene in all of Star Wars, I would argue. Yes, it's a little bit over choreographed, but it's definitely like, I just can't think of one Star Wars battle scene that's better than that. Like, let's be real here. Zach, my boy, Empire, easy. Oh no, we lost Steph, guys. Oh no. But it's just me. Star Wars sequel trilogy be like WWE booking over the last 5 years, a complete cluster. Fuck. Yeah, for real. I haven't watched WWE in years, man, and I've heard that it's been a little sloppy. Moff's got to be working for Palpatine, because that's the answer to every Star Wars plot twist, right? I think he's working for Thrawn, what I would like is if he was working for Thrawn, and then they were building like this new empire outside of the Empire. So like, I would think it was really cool if they were building the First Order, and it had nothing to do with Palpatine at first. That would be too tight. I know A-Town, like, Steph, no, come back. Oh no, I think she lost internet, guys, but thank you so much, of course, for tuning in every single week, guys. We usually do this around 6:05 MT, 8:05 ET, but this time we did a little bit later just due to some scheduling conflicts. But guys, come on back next week for our usual time, 8:05 ET. Usually we do it then. I'm seeing if Steph is going to come back, but I think she might have lost internet connection, but guys, come on back next week. We do this every week. It's called Trailer Talk Live, y'all, where we just talk. We usually react to trailers, but there hasn't really been too many lately, so we're just talking latest in movie news and things like that. And I mean, after this discussion, I'm almost like, maybe we should have a Star Wars episode, because clearly me and Steph have a lot of thoughts about Star Wars. You guys have a lot of thoughts about Star Wars. I honestly am working on a prequel, a rewrite to episode 3. I don't know when that'll come out, have zero idea, but I'm currently working on a little rewrite that I just think could make episode 3 a little bit stronger, because I think The Revenge of the Sith has so much potential to be like the best, one of the best, if not the best Star Wars movie. I just think it has quite a few problems that kind of get in the way from stop it from being the best Star Wars movie it could be. But thank you guys so much for coming out. Come on back next week, and thanks again for coming. Zach, A-Town Reviews, my boy Mike Thomas, Not a Cinephile. Always good to see you guys. Cliff came out, Movie Collector, Andy, Kristen, thanks for coming on a little bit earlier. Christian Knight, always coming through, my friend. Thank you so much. And guys, I will be doing a Mandalorian watch along today at 3 o'clock a.m. ET. Yes, when the new episode drops. So if you want to come back, come on back and we'll hang out. But